the game for this video is lighting upgrades. These headlights are old, tired, yellow, reflector-type headlights that just suck. Probably saw in the last video, they don't do a whole lot. So, I got some projector head lenses here from Spec D Tuning. I also got a little bit of an extra grill. This might be a little bit too extra, I don't know yet. We'll have to see what it looks like on the vehicle, and I'll let you decide too. This may or may not be standard, I don't know. I also got something special. So most of this stuff was either necessity or as cheap as I could find it. But I did splurge on one thing. Some Vision X fog lights. Just look at that. And these are going to go right down here. Replacing these fog lights. Now I already replaced these guys and the fog lights, but these things are less than a year and a half old and they're already got water inside them. These are pretty alright. They look pretty good, but I'm going to replace them anyways because I got those cool guys. So, alright, I'm going to start off by saying I have no idea what the fuck I'm doing. So this is going to be a learning experience. Also, I'm sick. I'm trying to get over this. So this will be a new experience for me. Damn, it's dirty. Objective 1 was to get the stock headlights out. These were kind of a pain to get out, as some of the holding pins, or holding tabs, or whatever you want to call them, got stuck. So I had to use some proper big tools to get them out. There we go. Jesus. The new lights came with new side markers, so I can take these stock ones out. Another clip. Objective 2, prepare for wiring. Wiring time. So we have the two headlights here and here, the grille in the middle, and the two indicator lights here and here. Each headlight has a halo going around the projectors, and then a line of LEDs going underneath all of them, wrapping around the side. The grille has 3 amber lights at the top, and then 2 bigger lights at the bottom. But I'm not going to use the big lights at the bottom because I think it looks a little bit too extra. Each indicator light has a brown wire for power and a black wire for ground. The LED running lights inside of the headlight need to be powered and at the right time. So I'm going to be using power from the running lights to ensure that they turn on when the running lights are on. I'll be using these quick splice connectors to connect the running lights of the headlights to the running lights of the vehicle. These quick splice connectors are a pretty quick and dirty way of getting the job done. There's probably a better way of doing it, but I am lazy. Now for the grille. This grille came with a large wiring harness, but I'm only going to be using half of it as I'm not using the bottom big LEDs. So part of the harness has the 3 amber LEDs at the top connecting into one central junction. Then it would go out and connect to the rest of the wiring harness that would power the bottom light bars. Because I'm not using those bottom light bars, I can cut that part of the harness out of the system. There is a fuse on that later system though that I'm going to put into this system to ensure it doesn't mess up the rest of the wiring of the vehicle. Then it's just a matter of connecting the grille lights to the power and the ground of the vehicle, connecting them to the same running light wires that I connected the headlight running lights to. Those quick splice connectors will be used here too. And there you have it. This is the wiring harness that I'll be using to wire up all these new fancy lights. Let's cut back to me struggling. So that's something I didn't know. These guys, these lenses came with their own bulbs. Got little bulbs inside here, all wired up to themselves. So I guess I didn't need those LED bulbs. And I don't even know if I can even fit those LED bulbs in here. They don't look like the bulbs that I got. The wires that came on the headlights were a bit short. So I got these quick disconnects here. I'm going to extend the wire so I can connect it much easier to the vehicle. And after struggling to get the first connector on, I soldered on to get the rest of them put on. Now it's time to make the extensions. Now it's time to wire these up to the vehicle. So I'm using this quick splice connector here, where you put the one wire going through on the top and then the other wire coming off at the bottom, and you push in that little tab there at the top, and that creates a connection between the two wires. Now in this clip I don't actually push that tab down far enough, but I figure out how to do it later on. Now I didn't film this very well, but essentially it's just installing the headlights, connecting those wire extensions to the running lights, and then connecting the headlights to the headlight connectors. This headlight came with adapters already that adapted to this vehicle's headlight plug, so it was pretty plug and play. And after many minutes of adjusting those black alignment nuts, I finally got it to fit. If you're gonna make something that's supposed to be removed, don't make it out of a freaking paper sticker. Gross. Well, they're in. Well, let's see if I wired them correctly. I didn't. Side markers turn on, but not the daytime running lights. The low beams, high beams, and indicators did still work though. So I went in after a bit of research and I clamped down those quick splice connections a little bit more. And that's all that was needed. Yes. And look at that. Dude that has no idea what the fuck he's doing did a thing. Just keep at it. You'll get shit done. But there was still an issue. Okay, so I tried to put these LEDs on. But the issue is, it connects to the original connector here. And the original connector is huge. It's ginormous and it doesn't fit anywhere. I can't fit it behind the headlight lens and I can't push it back to where it comes from because the connector is too big. So I'm just gonna go back to the halogen bulbs and just deal with it. I don't care all that much. So originally, this grill came with a kit with these little LED bars on them. Now they sit in like right here or so. I don't like these. I think they're too much. So I'm not going to be using these, but I still want to have these working. These little 3 LED things here. So I'm going to modify the wiring harness to allow for just these to work, and hopefully I do it right. So here's the wiring harness that came with it. It didn't come with any instructions or anything, which is on par for Chinesium. So here's the 3 that plug into those LED lights. There's a connector here, and there's these plugs, this one here, and this one here, that connect to those light bars. There's also a fuse on the end of this one. It's a little 10 amp fuse. I still want this fuse because when I tap it back into the wiring system, I don't want anything to go super shocky. So my plan is I'm going to cut right here to allow for this harness to exist. I'm going to cut the fuse off and tap it in to these wires here. And then all the rest of the stuff is just not going to feed there. Then I'm going to connect it to the car and hope it doesn't blow up. Wish me luck. Alright, so I got the fuse in here. I just need to connect this end to the vehicle, as well as this end. So I'll go figure that out. First, let's get this grill off though. Yada! I don't know. I actually kind of like it. So my plan is to route all this wiring here down here, or like up across here, and then down into this little gap right here. And I can bring it over to here and tap into the marker lights so that these lights come on when the marker lights come on. All right, now time for the sketchy part. Tapping in these 2 guys into this wiring harness here. So I ended up splicing into the extension cables that came from the headlights running LEDs. This makes things a little bit easier for me, as these extension wires were a lot easier to get access to, and it puts a whole lot less tension on the entire wiring harness itself.
If you're an electrician and you're cringing at this right now, I'm sorry.
Let's see if the vehicle blows up. Yes! Alright, next up on the list is the fog lights. Shout out to my dad who fabbed these up. At some point I would like to make these all myself, but I currently don't have the materials or the tools for that. And after some test fitting, to make sure my holes lined up, and a bit of clearance cutting, and then another attempt at test fitting, I finally got them to fit.
It's in!
Now it's time to send the brackets off to get finished up. And in the meantime, it's time to wire up the fog lights. This wiring harness was a whole lot easier to work with. It came with the fog lights, and all it required was a connection to the battery and a connection to a ground point, which I chose here. I really only chose this spot because there was another ground wire going to it, so might as well use it. I also needed to find a spot to put the button to turn the lights on. I probably could have found a way to make it work with the stock fog light switch, but I decided to drill through the firewall and use the button that was given to me in the kit.
Good to go right about there. That should be it.
And with the button complete, it was time to install the finished brackets.
See if it works.
Now it's time to align the fog lights. So when aiming, I kind of aim to have the bottom of the beams right at the top of the hood. And now it's time to compare them. Were they better? Kind of? The beam is definitely projecting way out further, and there's a lot less hot spots, but it's not quite as bright. And for the high beams, it's definitely going a lot further and is a lot brighter further out. And the fog lights are night and day. I've seen significant improvement seeing the lines on a foggy day with these. Now for the real question. Does this all look good on the truck? Yes, it does. I think the projector headlights both make the vehicle look more modern and improves visibility at night. I was worried that the grille might have been a little bit too extra, especially with the extra lights at the bottom. That would have been definitely too extra. And with the big Ford lettering that I could have put on the grille too, that would have definitely been too much and probably would have looked very tacky. But with the way I have it set up now, I think it looks just modern enough. And with that, it's the end of the video. I'll leave you with some pictures I took off-roading a little while back. Let me know what you think of the headlights and the grille and the fog lights. Is it too much? You think it's just enough? Does it look good? Let me know down in the comments. Thank you for watching this video. Leave a comment and like or dislike if you didn't like it. And I'll see you in the next video. Peace.